Cafe. We're here for what session is this, John? 4 or
I'm gonna,
5?
I'm gonna say it's
Five.
6, I think.
Five.
Oh, it's 5? Okay.
It's 5.
5? Okay, all right. I knew it was somewhere around there, but we're going to pick up right back where we left off with Alien, and John's taking Doon, myself, and Todd through hell and back again, I'm sure. Anyway,
Thank you.
take it away, John.
All right. It's been quite a while since we played. I think
Yeah.
if not 4 weeks, then it's been 3 weeks.
It's December 4th.
Yeah. So it's been a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
So yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll kick the year off with chest bursters and
Oh.
and mouths inside mouths.
Yeah.
So last time, you guys arrived at the very first far spinward colony that you're going to investigate, the Gorham colony. And you ran into some issues on the way here. Before you even took off, there was someone messing around with your rations. There was vac suits missing. You kind of got replacement vac suits and just went on your way. And through some of your investigation over several of you were conscious during the 7-day trip from the mother colony to the Gorham colony. And you did some investigation. The rations might be making people sick. That was one thing you determined. And then you also found that someone had installed something on your communications antenna. You decided to shut that down to prevent any unwanted broadcasts taking place. And once you did that, you completed your journey to the Gorham colony and started debating as to whether or not you were going to turn the antenna back on. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you did briefly turn it back on in an attempt to communicate with the colony itself. There was no response, and so you decided to turn it back off because, for the time being, until you were able to, properly disable the device that was installed on it. Now, some of you went down onto the surface of the colony in a drop ship, and you're going to have to. I know Doon's character Yoko went
down the dropship. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, let me check the crew.
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember if Dr. Bircher or Windows went. I don't believe either of you did.
I don't think so.
But
we stayed up on the ship.
Did not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
all right.
when you saw the downed Viking class ship.
Right. So we have split the party. We did bring some crew members. We brought Dudge, right, to pilot the dropship.
Yes.
And I feel like there was one other character, or maybe two. Oh, that's right. It was Inspector Tan was another one. Yes, he insisted on going.
Right.
And I believe one of the female crew members went. Doon, do you remember which one it was?
Probably Hamida because security.
Okay. All right. If that is not correct, audience, we will retcon that. And Hamida is now the third person, third crew member, fourth person that went down onto the Gorham colony trip. So still up on the ship is going to be Counselor Lakota Monroe, Daver, who is the mechanic, but he is currently in cryostasis because he is infected with something.
Yeah.
And then there is Emily Quintana, the prospector. and then also Dr. Bircher and Windows. And the daughter of Dudge, who was a stowaway, I believe that she is also in cryo sleep because Dudge does not want her getting into any trouble.
Right.
All right. So, as Yoko and the 3 crew members went down, they discovered that there was a crashed ship not far from the colony itself, and nearby was the only reasonable place, according to Dudge, to be able to land this dropship. And the reason is because there's this huge crevice that kind of follows what appears to be some, ancient riverbed or something that kind of leads to the colony. But the colony is inside of this crevice, and there's kind of an overhang that there's no way to access the colony other than landing about 10 kilometers away near this crashed ship and walking down through the crevice to get to the colony. So I believe we left Dudge with a rifle to stay with the dropship. Does that sound correct, Doon?
Yes, that's correct. And the rest of us, the
Alright.
other 3 of us, are on foot, headed toward the colony, or where we believe a colony to have been, at least.
All right, and if I remember correctly, you did decide that you were going to, you were not interested in investigating the crashed ship.
It wasn't our priority. Just the cursory scan of okay, we don't think there's anyone in there right this second. I think, or just from the look of it. I don't remember what.
Yes,
extent of our scan
I
was.
mean the scan did not reveal any life on the crashed ship. It looks like it's been there for several decades. It's rusted out, exposed to the elements.
It's not a scavenging mission.
It looks like it crash landed, but there is a boarding ramp that has haphazardly come down. So someone most likely either left the ship or went into it at some point in time.
Yeah, I say to my crewmates as we're walking, in all likelihood, if there were any survivors, they would have went to the colony.
So are Dell and I going to be playing these other 2 characters for the time being?
That is up to you. I was going to. I assumed that you were going to be attempting to do something up on the ship. That's
Okay.
the point in staying up there. But I mean, if you don't have anything either of you actively want to do.
Well, I have a note here that says infirmary ventilation is not working again. That's the last note I have from that.
Yes.
Right.
So that was just to recap. Dr. Bircher was along with, I believe it was Security Officer Hamadov.
Yes,
was
I believe so.
They were doing an investigation as to what exactly is wrong with Daver, the mechanic. They were doing some tests. They isolated themselves because they were possibly exposed to him because they brought him back to the infirmary. And over the course of that, they somehow the ventilation was shut off into the infirmary, and they passed out and were on the verge of suffocating.
Right.
But that was repaired by Windows and brought back online, and they were fine. And you guys did try to do some sort of investigation as to what caused that, but the only thing Windows could figure out was that there was some sort of security protocol that was engaged, and nobody has access to determine exactly what the protocol, like the nature of the protocol is and
Right.
why it happened. But either shortly before or after Windows or Yoko left with the other crew members for the ship, the infirmary air shut off again. It's the exact same thing, but this time the only people inside of there are people that are in cryosleep. So they are not in any immediate danger because they have their own, they have their own source of air and everything inside of their cryopods.
Right. Okay. So I think that Windows would be wanting to investigate this further. We can't have infirmary ventilation just willy-nilly shutting off whenever it feels like it. So that's what he's going to be working on.
Okay.
Right.
All right, Dale, do you feel Dr. Bircher has something to do, or do you want to take over one of these NPCs on the, on the surface?
Well, actually, I think Birch is going to be concerned with that ventilation system coming back online. He's going to stay on top of Windows about it because if he needs to access, if anything goes critical inside of the pods for whatever reason, he needs to be able to access it without that fear. But he's also split this time a little bit with trying to monitor what's going on Planetside, especially since the array is down. And so he's worried about having contact with the group down there. So he's hammering on the fact that we need to turn the array back on. All right. So, but okay. I mean, I can jump in the shoes of anybody, in the group too on Planetside if it need be. So
yeah, I mean, really, I just want to keep you involved in the session. So it sounds like. Yeah. You could probably handle both, I would imagine, right? There's not going to be.
Yeah, okay. I've did phones before too.
All right. Do you want to control Inspector Tan or Security Officer Hamada? I think you have rights to if you want to.
Yeah, I can do the Inspector. 10.
Okay. I just realized in the 4 months that we played, I still have not completed their character sheets. So I apologize. It looks like I started their stats, but I never did their skills. So I will make a note to myself to rectify that by next week. Okay. So I will look that up when it comes time to roll anything for Tan. Okay. All right. So,
well, I can play somebody else too. I mean,
All right, sure.
All right. Okay. So, who else is down there?
I mean, the only other person actively involved in the mission in the colony is Hamada, the security officer.
Oh, they're down there. Okay. All right. Oh, Hamada. Okay. All right. Okay. Sure. But there's no character sheet.
Not a completed character sheet.
No. Okay. All right.
If you look at your second,
Hamada Amir, Royal Marine. Okay. Discuss it. That'll be a protect.
Yeah.
Okay.
This doesn't there.
All right.
I have the information. I will tell you as soon as you roll. She is essentially, not a colonial marine, but she is
Royal Marine.
A Royal Marine, which is just associated with a different organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So the three of you begin making your way through this ravine. The sky here, you see the cliffs on either side of the ravine are about maybe 60 to 70 feet vertical up at this point. You've made your way about 200 or 300 yards away from where the crashed ship was. You can see the sky above you. It is kind of a pinkish gray color. You're not entirely sure if at this point, whether that gray is weather or if that's just the natural color of the sky here at this time of day.
There was a big storm,
but,
right? That
yes,
that we had predicted would not come to Bonnie.
That is correct. So it's possible that storm is throwing stuff up into the lower atmosphere and causing that gray hue to the pink sky of the setting sun. You start making your way down, and eventually that ship disappears behind you. The rock here is it's a color that you haven't seen before in the many, most of you have been to multiple planets over time, and this is kind of has a greenish tint to it, kind of interspersed with the traditional, grays and browns that you're more familiar with. You're not sure if that is some element that is spread throughout the rock, or if that is just weathering or something like that from the various storms that go through the system or through the area. You can see some flashing lights after about maybe 20 or 30 minutes of further travel. It seems like this settlement seems to have some sort of power available, but their comms array is not working. Eventually, as you start to see some of the buildings and structures in the distance, you start to hear some rocks falling from the upper, like the tops of the cliffs, although something might be moving around up there.
Oh.
And I need all of you you're going to give me an observation roll. Let me get the values for, I'll actually input them as I pull them up. Hold on 1 second for Tan and Hamada. Give me just 1 second. Doon, you can roll for Yoko first while I'm looking all this stuff up. What'd you get?
Tells me to roll stress. I got 3 successes.
Oh boy. 3 successes. All right. Did it roll stress for you, or
no? I think
you
I
can
have to
click
press
that
it.
button? Yeah, go ahead and press it.
Keeping it together.
All right. That's what I like to hear. Sorry, I'm having trouble finding these guys.
Probably roll old school.
Old
Yeah,
school.
I just need to get the numbers here.
Empathy. No, wits. Wits.
Oh my God. Let's see. I'm gonna find some dice now. While you're doing that, John, I'm just gonna go grab some dice, okay?
Okay. Okay, here we go. So, Tan as observation 2. I'll do Tan first since Todd had to step away.
Get back.
Welcome back.
Observation 2.
All right. So you should be able to roll that now, Dell.
And wits. What's the
Yeah,
wits?
roll.
What's Tan's wits?
Didn't I? Should have that. The wits are already in there. They have wits of 4.
In where?
He has a strength of 3, agility of. Oh, do you guys not see
No,
this?
no. We don't see the.
Okay, I apologize. Okay, you should now see a crew folder.
Oh wait. Oh, maybe we did. Sorry, I didn't open the group. The folder's there.
There's a crew folder.
Yeah, under the
Yeah.
characters.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It just looked like a header above our names. But,
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
so they could just click the thing.
Yeah, it's just like another character sheet.
Okay.
Okay, we're rolling
Observation.
observation. Gotcha.
I put his observation value in there.
Okay.
All right, and then Hamada has.
There it is.
That's Dr. Bircher. Where
Okay.
I'm not very organized this time. Hold on 1 second. I'm filling in.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually rolled something. Oh. Okay. I know.
All right.
I don't have any skills in anything, so.
Yeah, you actually are not. So Hamada is not actually trained in observation. So
All right.
you rolled correctly. All right.
Okay.
So Tan and Yoko, they're everyone's eyes are immediately drawn up as these rocks fall down from the crevices above. But Tan and Yoko start tracking some movement further down, and it looks like there is someone running along the upper right side of the ravine. You can see their head and their hands every once in a while as the outcroppings and stuff jut out and fall back in. They seem to be running. They're certainly running in the direction of the colony. They are not looking back at you, but seem to be running at full sprint.
Depending on how large these rocks are, potential for avalanche, I'm concerned about the safety. So I'm trying to make sure, get everybody out of the way of potential rock slide or whatever.
Okay, so Hamada has not seen this at all. Okay?
Up there, Hamada.
Well,
okay.
2 o'clock.
You heard, you saw and heard the rocks fall, but you didn't see the person running across the ravine,
Right.
or along the ravine, I should say.
Okay, and what does she have for gear?
She's going to have a pulse rifle,
Mm-hmm.
which I can add to her inventory,
Mm-hmm.
and other than that, just basic gear you would use.
So really cool binoculars.
Yes, you definitely have binoculars.
Okay, so I'll put them on, raise them to my eyes, and see if I can see what my companions are talking about.
Okay, so I'm going to say that let's see, we can either use one of Yoko's extra successes, or Tan's extra success. Okay, so yeah,
I'm
so
pointing it
you
out.
basically, you pointed out, and Hamada is able to, with Yoko's assistance, to track, where this person is, and you have Hamada has a really good view of this person. It is a young man in some sort of, not quite like a traditional uniform that someone would wear in, assigned on a ship, but it looks like some piecemeal uniform that it may have been cobbled together from, the remnants of multiple uniforms. It's not despite me calling it a uniform, it is not uniform in color and shape itself.
Okay.
But it is. You can see stitching and stuff as though it was repaired multiple times.
Right. Okay.
You would estimate this person might be in their late 20s or early 30s,
Okay.
and they're in fairly good shape.
Okay.
This is good. There's people around. We can, I guess, at least we know the whole colony didn't get wiped out.
Yes. All right. I'll track that individual as long as I can until they disappear.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rock
So we
fall
got-
was negligible, right? It was just
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's more like they disturbed something and it caused a couple rocks to
Yeah,
like.
I didn't know if they were trying to push something down on us.
Oh
Yeah.
no, sorry if I gave that impression. All right, so we got some more successes. Is there any sort of like specific information that you might want to know with these extra successes? We have one for Yoko and one for Tan.
Oh, mine would be ever since we dropped here, Tan's been attributing like the downed vessel and the downed colony that we're going to probably to some kind of a failed safety or regulations protocol that hadn't been, you know what I mean, followed. So basically, he pretty much sticks to that. So in his eyes scanning the area, he's looking for any kind of from what we left to what we're coming up on to the environment itself of how many things around are up to code safety regulations wise. You know what I mean?
Of course.
That kind of thing. You know what I mean?
So at this point, you are not able to see many details of the Gorham colony itself. There is your suspicion from the nature of the uniform that Hamada describes to you that they do not have proper supplies here, to keep themselves dressed. And your suspicion is that most likely, they're scrounging for things, reusing. Since they're reusing clothing, you have a suspicion they might also be short on food, just general
Their
repair
stock
equipment.
they should have prepared for is what I'll be going on about. The lack of preparedness. This is what you get. Examples are abundantly around us. You know what I mean, and not because I would have figured from the time they had here they'd have been able to plan or try to terraform to some capacity the planet. But obviously, look at the sky. You know what I mean. So I'm that kind of unpleasant individual you are traveling with as we get closer to there. But that's just confirming what I'm seeing. We're walking into a situation where there's going to be probably thievery or either scavengers or not necessarily a cohesive community. So I'm relaying this information to the security officer, Hamada. Make sure that do your due diligence in making sure that we're safe. And
I am doing my job. You don't need to tell me how to do it, Inspector.
I
Keeping
should
an eye
hope,
on things.
I should hope not. You were trained appropriately, were you not?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get the drift.
I get the drift. Oh yeah, I get the drift. You worry about your ICC regulations, and I'll worry about keeping us alive.
No, I'll keep you straight and make sure things roll in that direction. But anyway, that's Tam.
All right.
All right.
Doon, you have one success left for Yoko. Is there any other pieces of information that you want
Am I
about
able to
this
determine if
person?
this person who's running has seen us or has am I able to...
I mean, based off of what happened, your suspicion is that this person, saw you and is probably running back to the colony to tell them that visitors are coming. I mean, that's the most logical explanation for why this person's running so quickly.
How, just in terms of what we look like how, are we just do we have big guns on us, or are we just?
I assume that the only person that has a gun is Hamada.
Okay,
I don't believe anybody else is trained, so
that's good. It
I
doesn't look
assume
like
that-
we're all
No
part of
crap.
like an assault force, at least.
right.
I've got a note tablet, just marking violations as we go through.
You have the futuristic version of
Yeah,
like
it's
a
a
clipboard.
little bit. Yes, a little bit thicker than Todd's malarkey notebook right now. It's almost full. It won't take me a couple of years to fill this one out. That's for sure.
So yeah, in general, you do not look particularly intimidating.
Okay, great.
But if they're completely unarmed, they might be a little concerned because of Hamada's rifle.
Right. Well, let's just carry forth. I feel. Just you need to be prepared for anything, obviously.
I'll take point.
The owner of this, I mean, the commander of this establishment needs to be, brought to be accountable for what we see here.
Our priority
Anyway, I'll follow this stuff.
is establishing a positive communicative relationship with this colony, and explaining our goals to them. Work together. Stick to it.
All right.
Yes, of course.
Yes. All right. I will take point a little bit ahead of these two, and let's keep going.
Okay.
All right.
Let's keep moving
So
here.
obviously, you guys are coming from the right-hand side as you're
Mhm.
traveling up.
Hmm.
We're going to say that you're, within about 100 meters from off the map. You can start to see these lift towers kind of built into the sides of the ravine. And it seems like it allows people to go, from the base of the ravine up to the top. You can just make out some buildings built up on top of it, particularly the two field nodes, and then the comms array, which is most likely there's an issue there, which is the reason that they're not receiving or broadcasting transmissions to your ship.
All right.
You don't. So I mean, you see a scattering of other buildings in the distance. Your assumption, I mean, and your knowledge of what your briefing on this mission included some of the equipment and stuff that they came with. I mean, it's hundreds of years old, but that the building at the end of the ravine, the leftmost building that's kind of like has a triangle with it, so branches off, that is the main administrative area for the entire colony. And the landing pad actually has several damaged ships on it, which is part of the reason that you could not land inside if you're there. It looks like there was a ship on the landing pad, and another ship tried to land nearby and crashed into it, basically disabling the entire thing. It does not look like any effort was made in order to clear the landing pad to make it usable for others.
What is it with ships crash landing on this planet?
One thing I will point out, based off of your briefing, is that the ship that crashed on top of the pre-existing ship on the landing pad, you have no idea what model or who made that ship. You have never seen anything like it. Any three of you with any of your exposure to your
Oh,
own
it's not Wayland
your own
Yutani.
planets. Yeah, it's not Wayland Yutani. It's not third or three world empire. It's
It definitely raises an eyebrow for me. You know what I mean?
it almost looks like some sort of fighter ship or like a fighter, a small fighter vehicle.
Okay. So we might have enemy hostiles in and around us here. So let's stay sharp.
All right.
What are those field notes for? Up on the top of the ravine.
They are essentially for they're like lookout towers essentially. That
Okay.
they can see. So the one in the closer to the top right can see probably most of the way down the ravine that you traveled through.
Right.
And then the other one has a direct view over the entire colony, plus everything like up on the ravine. So the next above the ravine, like on the cliff face.
I think that's where we should make for.
I mean,
Get a good view of the whole area. And also we'll be near the comm array too, so maybe with our limited knowledge of these technical things, I don't know, we might be able to get the comm array back up.
yeah, I think it's smart to be in contact with the ship in case there are hostiles, but also you can use your binoculars so we can get from a vantage point to
Absolutely.
ascertain.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where our welcome first impression they get that I'm coming here trying to take over.
We don't need to wander around aimlessly. So if we can isolate where
I think we need to
seem
get the
be
high
vehicles.
Lead the way, Hamada.
Okay. Yeah, let's get to the high ground and get a good view of the area. And
All right.
this ship.
Yeah, are
So
there
I
any
assume
tracks anywhere, like from
what?
vehicles? Are there any tracks or anything from vehicles?
no, there are no tracks
Okay.
whatsoever. Every once in a while, you feel like you can see some like boot prints or something, but they are very faded and not recent in any way.
Probably not a lot of people walking in and out of this ravine.
Yeah, and I was thinking about motorized vehicles too. You know, as far as that.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's greenhouses and whatnot, so it has to be some kind of transport. But anyway.
So I assume you're going to try to use this lift tower on the south side to get up to the top.
Yep.
All right. So as you approach that, there doesn't seem to be like any security door or anything. This is just like an open air mechanism for traveling up. It does not appear to be working. Doesn't appear to be power to this. And it's not responding to anything. You do see lights on in several of the buildings, so there is power to the colony, but not to this particular lift tower.
Well, we could take the other lift tower and make our way around, I guess.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So is there any area that might be climbed as the biome that was running?
Yeah, so you look around and you notice that there is a maintenance hatch above the actual like lift platform. So perhaps there is some sort of ladder or something you can climb up.
I say.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's a ladder.
Yes. So if you do open the lift hatch, you find that there is a service ladder that goes all the way up. You can see that most of the mechanisms and gears that lift this platform are severely rusted, and it looks like this has not been used or maintained in quite some time.
Probably not getting heavy machinery up and down.
But there's power to the lift?
There's not power to the lift, no, but there's power in the colony from that you can see
Okay,
from
okay,
lights
all right.
in the distance.
But
Okay.
lead the way, Hamada. Well, you know,
I got this. All right.
you can't lead from the rear.
I will sling my pulse rifle over my shoulder, and up we go.
Sure, you can make it up the
Right.
ladder, Tan. Keep up, I say. As I go up second.
Yeah, come on, paper pusher. Let's go.
All right. The three of you eventually make your way up to the top. The door leaving the security hatch is seems to be stuck shut. You try to force it with your hand, and eventually it gives just enough to be able to squeeze through. And you get up to the top, and as you make your way out of the security area onto the platform where the actual lift would have led to, you have a great view of not only the colony itself, but also the area surrounding the colony up on the cliff face. You can see majestic mountains in the distance and what looks like a huge desert further to the south.
Beautiful.
It looks like you're up on some sort of plateau. So you can see well beyond what you would normally be able to see on flat ground.
Dang, the
Even with the
colony has to be
diffused light.
stuck down there.
And it's,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, you guys both spoke at the same time.
so,
Del, what did you say?
no, I was just asking about the diffused light. How do we see any storms of the atmosphere?
Yes. So
approaching.
you can easily make out that dust storm that you could see from orbit before. It seems like it's still quite a ways away. I don't think. Let's see. Actually, Yoko might know.
I just
Yoko.
gestured toward it.
Why don't you give me a roll for
Meteorology?
why don't we just do observation? This is specifically scientific observation.
Not survival.
So that's why the other
Not that
thing.
it makes any difference.
Actually, yeah, while you're doing that, let me look up real quick and see if anybody has survival. I'm assuming Hamada probably has survival.
My observation is around the same. It doesn't make any difference. I'm rolling observation.
All right, what did you get?
1 success.
All right.
Like a storm.
Let's see, where is Hamada? Oh, she's on the other side. Yes, she's got. Yeah, she's not trained. Oh wow, she's not trained in survival. Okay.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
You're only trained in combat.
I guess. Yeah.
No.
She's she's a city marine.
Sitting Marine.
A city
Yeah.
marine.
City Marine. I see. Sorry.
You're like
Sitting
you're
Marine.
you're like a cyber marine. You can perform virtual marine actions.
All right. So Yoko is able to determine that these storms move fairly quickly. So even though it looks pretty far away, like it could be 50 kilometers away at this point. I mean, it could be here in a matter of hours if the direction changes.
Yeah.
From what your predictions were when you saw it up on orbit.
Okay.
So it is possible, however unlikely, that it switches directions and comes your way.
Right. I'll say the computer predicted the storm wouldn't come this way, but given how often the weather predictions are right, I wouldn't count on it. I guess I understand why they have to be buried so deep in the ravine, but it's a shame they don't get to see this view. The colony.
Yeah, it's a shame. I'll give you a skeptical look, and then I glance over toward the array. Now, I've got Comtech. Would that be appropriate for maybe assessing that situation?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So, yeah, I got 3 of that. So
Let's get over there.
Okay.
yeah,
All right. You start, making your way over, and you see the solar farm that is on your left as you're walking across the ravine or above the ravine. That is has some like what look like patchwork cables running from some of them down into the down into the ravine and the actual colony. It seems like there's cables that are running underground that have been bypassed entirely to perhaps feed things independently. But I mean, if you want to inspect them, you can. But the solar farm does seem fairly well maintained in comparison to the lift tower that you climbed up. Things are certainly weather worn, but they do seem like they don't seem rusted away like the gears were in the lift tower.
Right.
yeah. But I mean, we got a little bit of power going to.
Is there any power
Into the
leading?
area
Do we
here.
see any power leading to the comms array?
There is a cable leading to the comms array, like one of these bypass cables.
That looks promising.
So it's perhaps it has power, and there's something else wrong. You're not sure, but it sounds like you want to head inside of the comms array and try to make out what the problem is. Is everybody going inside? I mean, it's not a huge building, but
yes, we're sticking together. I'm just wondering if there's anyone here. Yeah. Hello, we're here. Anyone home?
Are you going to yell down into the colony?
Yeah. So how does yelling work? We have like space helmets on, or what's our deal?
Yeah.
No, you are not wearing your helmets because it is a breathable atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
we're just regular people.
Well, you do have the vac suits on, but you took the helmets off.
Yeah,
and I assume you have.
I remember now. I forgot about that. So that's good.
Because if something goes wrong, you want to have. I think the decision was, if something went wrong, you wanted to have the full oxygen. And not use it unnecessarily.
Yes. I'm not interested in yelling into the ravine, but I'm just thinking more of like if there's anyone in the comms array building or approaching a building.
Right.
More like a knock knock. Who's there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, the door is closed. You rap on it and speak loudly inside to see if it's occupied, and you get no response.
Right.
Gesture toward Hamida to open the door for us, and or at least cover while we're opening.
I'll cover while you open the door. Well, I mean, if there's something there, I want to have my weapon at the ready.
Yeah, is this door up to code, Tan? Why don't you put your hands on the door knob?
Yeah, I can just turn it and I'll step out the way, but like you kick it in and go in or whatever you feel.
Well, it's really just a pad that you activate and it opens up.
Okay, gotcha.
You can kick it, but it's solid steel, so you're not going to do much to it. But you activate it. It hesitates a little bit. You hear some grinding. You suspect, it might need some, some lubrication or something added, but it does slide open. There are no lights on inside of this building, and does not seem occupied. Nothing stirs when the door opens. It's one primary room with a small storage area in the back. There's several terminals open. None of the lights are on any of the terminals. It's almost like the power is turned off.
Yeah. Maybe there's a main breaker that's turned off. Maybe that's all it is.
Yeah.
Got to be a switch here somewhere. Feeling on the wall.
Must be enough light. Must be enough light coming in from outside to see around here.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a relatively small building, so just leaving the door open provides enough light.
Okay.
I'm going to need somebody to give me. Somebody just rolled. Okay, so Tan just rolled Comtech, which is what I wanted. You are able to isolate the power breaker and flip that on, and all of the computer terminals begin booting up. Some overhead lights come on, and that's when it becomes obvious that there is old blood stains all over the walls, the computer terminals. It looks like several people were killed inside of this room, but the bodies have been removed.
Goes from a smile to a horrified look on my face as a realization sets in. I kind of take 2 steps back, and with my back out the door, I'm trying to back out of the place.
Okay.
But
all right, I'm gonna do a now that the lights are on. I'm gonna do a full sweep of the building, make sure that there's not anything else in here with us.
Yeah, you start searching around. There is, you search through some crevices and above in some like ventilation, some ventilation tubes and in nooks and crannies. You don't find anything. As you're doing this, you realize that some of what you assumed was just like general wear and tear or exposure to the elements maybe are actually bullet holes that seem to kind of line up with a lot of these old blood stains. So it almost looks like, someone came in here and just tried to mowed everyone down, or multiple people came in and just mowed multiple people down inside of here while they were at their stations.
Right. And the equipment, has it been damaged by the bullets?
One or two have some like broken or cracked screens, but it's most of it seems to be operational. You'd have to go out and actually look at the, inspect the
antenna array.
Yes, the actual array on the roof, and see if it's actually connecting to anything in orbit.
Right. Okay. That sounds like your wheelhouse there, Tan.
Get yourself together.
Well, Blatchman's out there retching right now. Seriously, you know what I mean? Trying to control himself, and then he'll repeat to himself, this isn't protocol. This isn't, anyway, when you say get yourself together, I'll turn my head and look at you and then swallow for a second and wipe my mouth off and sit up and try to dial into what you're saying.
Yeah, look,
what was that again?
Tan. The blood's not fresh. Happened a long time ago. Looks like the building's empty now. Why don't we get in there and just see if you can get find out what's working and what's not working. Also, you could there's a way to contact the rest of the colony for that'd be nice.
Rest of the colony.
Yeah.
Look at the damn ship. You saw that man, and I'll point gesture toward where we last saw the man running. you saw him too. He was running somewhere. Don't tell
So
me.
he was on the northern side, just to give
Right.
you some perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we all saw him.
Damn well he wasn't running away, but he was running to.
Yeah, and that's why we need to contact them, tell them who we are and why we're here. We don't
I'm
want them
walking
getting the
and-
wrong idea. Is all I'm saying.
I'm already walking past you. Being kind of. I'm not a big guy, but kind of gruffly, like I'll do what you say, even though I'm walking back in there. You know what I mean? And first, I'm a little bit like pressing the buttons, but then I'll get down to business and see whatever I need to do, like with a mindset and focus. And I'll turn toward Hamida. You keep a watch out. So anyway, he's a little bit wound up.
I got your 6. Don't worry.
So I'll do it.
All right. You start making your way up a service ladder on the far side of the comms array from the direction that you approached it. As you get higher up, you can tell that this thing is a mess. There's, it looks like somebody who had no idea what they were doing tried to service this thing. There are. Yeah, there's cables running all over the place. It's basically a rat's nest. It's going to take
devolving back into my attitude. You know what I mean? How unprofessional or some sloppy slipshod workmanship. And so I'm doing that kind of in my mind to keep my mind off of what has bothered me beforehand. But I'll get to intently working on it, trying to untangle the mess.
Yeah. You suspect you're probably going to have to spend about an hour just trying to figure out what cables in this mess are actually doing things and which are superfluous. I will say
it's in my safe space. You know what I mean? It keeps my mind off things for about an hour while I'm doing it.
So what are Yoko and Hamida going to be doing while he's up there working on this?
I'd like to go. Well, while he's doing that, I'm just kind of take a gander around, make sure there's nothing approaching from the south of the solar farm. Make sure that we're safe that way, and then I'm gonna make my way to the field node and try and get a bird's eye view of the rest of the colony.
Okay. What about Yoko, dude?
Maybe I should try to do what I was thinking. Like, is there a landline here?
No. Well, the comms array is really for communicating outside of the outside of the colony.
Right.
They don't seem to have any like point to point communication.
Okay.
Set up in the comms array. It's possible there might be one in the field node, but you can't find anything that you recognize as what you have back on the ship for communicating across the ship to various areas.
Probably not. I'm not too bad. Like, ridiculous question. Given that we have access to like the solar farm, which seems to be a power source for the colony.
Yes.
Would I be able to like simulate like brownout or something to like send a message to them? To Morse code them a message?
That was cool.
Yeah, I would say with a Comtech role, you could figure out how to, have like a quick cutoff and re-enable switch to the power.
Do you think we, Yoko? Do you really think we should be letting them know about our presence here? Because as we've seen, there's been some considerable violence done in this comm array. We don't know who was the victor of that violence, nor what their intentions were. So
We know what our
if
intentions
we're
are.
dealing with, we know what our intentions are. We don't know what their intentions are. If we have hostiles down there, then we're going to let them know that we're here.
In all likelihood, the people here are desperate, and if I know anything about desperate, they will be receptive to an offer of support.
I think we need to know a little bit more before we go giving ourselves away.
I mean,
That's
they
all
already
I'm
know we're
saying.
here. Like,
Do they?
well, they don't know we're here, like in the building here. They know we're
Right.
here. Like they saw us entering.
Oh,
The
the
ravine.
individual up on the top of the ravine.
At least one person.
All right. Well, there's a thing. Okay. Are we in the field node now?
We're establishing
Yeah,
what we're
we
doing.
can say you're in the
yes.
field. Man.
Sure.
Okay,
we can
so
be there.
so
We're
that gives
standing
us
right outside it. Yeah.
okay, so that gives us a good view of the colony, but also too, do we? I don't know. Did we? That person who was running along the edge of the north face of the ravine. I mean, were they ahead? Did they run up ahead of us?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they were way ahead of you. Yeah, so that I mean,
Okay, so
plus with the time that it took you to go up the lift tower,
right.
they probably have been where they were going for about
Okay.
10-15 minutes.
Oh, okay. So they could have got to the north-facing lift tower, got down, and into the colony.
Yeah, I mean, it's also possible there's other ways of getting up and down in
Sure.
other areas. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Into the
Right. Okay. Well, let's just take a look before we go giving ourselves away. Just give me a compromise on this. Let's just get a good view of the colony from the field node and see if we can spot anything else. Okay. I'm particularly interested in this ship that's crashed into the landing pad. I want to get a little more information about that.
as long as
Okay.
your mission is to keep us alive, I'll follow you.
That is my mission. All right.
All right. So let's have. I need to look up and see what kind of observation. Oh wait, we established that Hamida doesn't have observation.
No observation.
So, I forgot So you can still give me an observation roll. Both of you can if you want, or if
okay.
Yoko is set on trying to figure out.
Maybe I should
gonna
help.
do it.
Does that matter? I just do it.
Because
You
I've
can
got these
help.
binoculars, right? I got these really cool binoculars.
Yeah. I'll
Well,
give you an extra die for having the binoculars and
okay.
two extra for getting the help from Yoko.
Okay.
All right, so you can 3 successes. All right, and that's without the extra dice, right?
Yeah.
That's
How do
'cause
I even
that's
how do
great.
I even add
Well,
that?
I'll do it for you.
Okay.
You got no 2 3s.
No.
So but you did get 3 successes.
Yes.
So the first thing. What is the primary thing that you're looking for like signs of life?
Yes.
Or
yes.
okay. So I'm going to tell you that you from this field node looking down, you can make out that there are movement in several buildings here.
Okay.
There is movement inside of this area that's labeled the Parks House.
Right.
There's light inside of there. You can see shadows every once in a while,
Right.
and then you can make out parts of people's bodies. There is movement in the Harvest Kennel up here, the top the northmost building.
Yep.
And then also in the warehouse down south. That I don't know if that's technically the southmost building.
Okay.
But right next to the vehicle bay.
But not light, just movement.
No. There's light in several of these buildings.
Oh, okay.
but you can actually see shadows and stuff from where you're at, like that are interrupting that light. So
Okay. Okay. I will
so
be.
you have so that is one that I mean that's your primary success for your observation. You have two more successes, so you can ask whatever you want from what you can see. Maybe you could ask maybe how many people are causing all of this light. You could ask about that ship that you're
Yeah.
interested in,
Yeah. I
or
want
anything else that you can
to.
think
Yeah.
of.
Okay. Yeah. I do want some more information about that ship. Now that we got a little bit better look at it.
Okay.
What did it?
You-
What did it crash onto?
so the ship that it crashed onto, it almost bisected the ship. It's like it was nose diving down onto the landing pad rather than attempting to land.
Oh. Okay.
And the ship that this mysterious ship landed on, you are able to piece out that it is a normal cargo ship from the time period that uh, this colony was established. So that
Okay.
is, it fits in. It even matches with some of the colonies in the other area where this is the specific purpose of this colony was for for a headquarters for mining and
Right.
ore processing.
Hmm.
So this cargo ship was most likely taking some of that processed ore
Okay.
up into orbit to another colony somewhere else in the spinord colonies.
Okay.
Um, this ship that crashed onto it does not fit with the time period. Like the tech, it seems more advanced than the 2 century old ships that that it crashed onto, and all the buildings and everything here.
Right. But nothing that I'm familiar with.
No, you cannot. I mean, it's in relatively good shape in comparison to the ship it landed on,
Right.
and you're not able to identify its like make or model or anything like that.
Okay. All right. I have to go tuck in Sam. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Can somebody use your other success? He already left. All right. So let's jump back
Sorry. Did you say
to.
something? I just what?
I was just. You had one more success. I was going to
Oh,
offer. I was going to ask if somebody else
offered up
could use
to
it.
yeah, offered up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Doon. Why don't you decide what the other success is? What information it gives?
It's gonna be right back.
Oh,
Yeah,
I missed
I'm
that.
just
Okay. Okay. So why don't we jump back to Tan?
okay. Just all along.
He's on top of the comms array, like
He's on top of things.
following these cables and isolating them and figuring out what it
And all
is
of his
that
little
why
currencies
they're
is drifting down,
there. Yes.
below to them and whatever. And of course,
Uh,
if the job is going to be done right, it's going to be him to do it. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
So
he's,
as you're doing this, you see that there is someone standing out from the harvester kennel building. He,
First, I'm running my mouth and I see this thing, and I kind of do a double take, and you'll see my mouth stop kind of moving, and I'm stop talking. And so I'm now just kind of transfixed on what I'm seeing. So go ahead.
it seems to be someone is like standing right outside of the door with a pair of binoculars and is looking directly at you. I mean,
I'm frozen, almost like thinking that if I don't move, maybe they won't see me. And so my lips start moving, and I kind of tilt my head down, and Yoko, I'll call down, try to get their attention.
What do you? We have comms, right? Open comms.
Yeah. I'll say that your vac suits have open comms. Yes.
I forget about that. I forget myself for a moment, then I hit the comms.
What do you see, Tan?
Don't look now, but across it looks like a harvester kennel across the ravine. There's someone standing. Now, is this someone akin to who we saw earlier? The runner?
It is
Possibly.
It's hard to tell from this far
I'd just
away
say
without binoculars.
there's
No, this is
someone with their eye on us, binoculars. I don't know if it's the runner we saw earlier.
They see you. Wait. Why don't you wave to them?
They're not waving to me. Yoko, look. Get. What is her name? Get the security officer to look over this. She gets binoculars.
Yeah.
Yeah, get Hamida.
Hamida, harvester. Kennel.
The harvester kennel over there. To the left of the greenhouses.
All right, you get Hamida to switch her gaze over from the landing pad north to the harvester kennel, and she sees it's a boy, maybe, well, not a boy, but a teenager. You'd probably say he's close to adulthood, but he's kind of skinny, almost like he's probably doesn't get sufficient food. But he is the one using the the binoculars, looking up, and his eye, his vision switches from the comms array to the field node as he sees Tan, talking into his comms, or into his suit, communicating, and starts looking around and makes contact with Hamida. He then looks like he's talking to someone inside of the kennel. His gaze is averted, and he turns his head back towards the kennel to talk to someone inside of there.
You see, damn it.
Okay, what's going on? I just got back.
Shoot him now.
Shoot what? What?
So Hamida, I should say Tan first saw somebody standing outside of the kennel looking at him with binoculars.
Yeah.
And so they had Hamida turn her binoculars on him, and she could see that he was, like an older teenager, like kind of underfed. And once he realized that Hamida was looking at him in her binoculars, he kind of turned to speak to someone inside of the kennel.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
They have not attempted to communicate with you, only that, he's communicating to somebody else.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
standing next to you, kind of squinting down there. I don't have binoculars like you do.
here. Look. It looks like a kid.
I don't need the binoculars. Hey, you keep your eyes on them, and I'll just wave my arm. I'm like waving, like, hey.
Hey,
wave.
does my pulse rifle got a scope on it, or is it just like kind of like a close range thingy?
Yeah, it just has like iron sights type thing.
Okay, all right.
It doesn't have a scope.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
it sounds like Yoko's waving.
I'm
right?
waving. Yeah.
Wait.
You can see.
You're making a fine target there,
Yeah.
This kid like yells back into the kennel very briefly, and then he waves back to Yoko, and it seems rather enthusiastic. Like it seems like that they think that you're friendly, and all of a sudden you see Hamida sees a older man like step into the doorway and start gesturing for the kid to come back inside.
Hmm.
Can we see
you-
Tan?
Yeah, Tan is up on the comms array at the top, so yeah, you can see him looking down.
I give Tan a thumbs up.
Kind of, I kind of shake my head a little bit and then do a half extended, arm wave back at the boy that's retreating inside of the thing.
Okay, I'll just keep my eyes on these individuals for any hostile actions, movements.
Okay.
Oh,
All
damn,
right.
I've almost got this figured out, and go back to the work, at hand.
All right. So Tan gets back to working on the tangled nest of cables on the top of the comms array. And while you guys have your eyes peeled on the kennel, I assume Hamada is continuing to use the binoculars, right?
Yes.
So Yoko is looking down without binoculars,
Yes.
and because of that, he is able to make out the fact that a woman is walking out of the warehouse.
Oh,
No, I take that back. Not the warehouse.
the
Uh,
field house.
the building labeled the Merino House. There's a woman walking there and towards with her hands kind of out in the open, as though showing she's unarmed,
Mm-mm.
and is walking up towards the landing pad.
Is she looking up at us?
Yeah, well, she's looking where she's going and gesturing up, but she seems more concerned with appearing non-hostile.
Okay. I'll like immediately. I'll try to like reflect and show my hands, right? And then
Okay.
I'll say, Hamada, down there by the control, by the heading toward the landing pad.
I'm on it. Let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna get the binoculars on her.
Yes. So this seems to be an older woman, maybe in her not quite middle-aged, but older than everyone you've seen so far. And she is wearing a similar kind of makeshift uniform, similar to the younger man that you saw running along the cliff face earlier.
Is she armed?
She is not armed. She has her hands not quite like above her head, but
Yeah.
like out by, she's holding them out to make it clear that she is unarmed.
Okay.
It appears she might, she's heading towards the landing pad. Maybe she's going to try to yell up to you. You're not sure. I mean, the landing pad is a good, 15 feet off the ground, so she would be a bit closer if she got on top where the wreckage is.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'll just keep an eye on her.
All right. She starts making her way up onto the landing pad and to the southeastern corner of it. And she looks up at the two of you, and by the two of you, I mean Yoko and Hamada, and she says, "Hello. We don't get many visitors here. We don't have a lot to offer, but we're willing to provide you with some food if you're hungry."
It looks like you guys. Or can I yell back?
I'm sorry?
Can I yell back?
Yeah, you can yell back.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Looks like you guys you folks need food more than we do.
She seems to consider it, and she says, "We don't have a lot to choose from. We've been rationing for quite some time."
I'll say, how many of you are there?
She seems to consider whether she should be saying this,
Yep.
but eventually she relents and says, "There's only 6 of us. We don't pose any harm."
I'll say we're on a diplomatic mission for Alderaan. From Alderaan. We're on a like we have a ship in orbit, and we're here on a mission to the Spinward colonies.
She, she seems a little taken aback by this. She says, "I'm sorry. Where are you from exactly?"
All over, actually. Why don't we have a conversation where we don't have to yell?
She thinks about it and says, as long as you're willing to come down unarmed, I'm willing to introduce you to everyone."
That'll be just fine, is what I say.
Then I'll stay
So do
here
you have
armed.
Yeah. Stay there in the sniper tower, sure.
Okay, so if you want to go down by yourself, Yoko, you
I don't mind.
can.
I don't mind going down by myself.
is-
I don't know if Hamada's okay with that.
You go, but you stay out in the open. Don't go into any of those buildings.
Okay. That's a good idea, I say. You keep me alive.
That's my job.
All right. So Yoko is he going to go down the lift tower or back?
Is
That-
there an
that'll probably
easier
take a
way
little bit of
down?
time.
Otherwise, I'll take the ladder.
She thinks about it and says, "There's another hidden ladder behind the vehicle bay that you could use. It'd probably be faster."
I'll go. Full trust.
All right. So you start making your way around the solar farm, and you can see that there's kind of a alcove in the cliff face, and there's a ladder that is kind of hidden there. It seems a little makeshift and fairly new, almost like it was made out of kind of parts that were scavenged around the ship, maybe like the ore process. I mean, not the ship, the colony. You notice, you recognize some ore processor parts and stuff like that from your geology studies, and you make your way down. While Yoko's doing that, Hamada can see that she's kind of like gesturing towards someone in the building that she emerged from. And eventually Hamada sees 2 males emerge from the building. One she recognizes as the person that was running along the cliff face. And the other person is an older man, about the same age as the woman. Based off of how protective the man is, you suspect, or the older man is over the younger man, you suspect that might be his son. They look very similar. And they start making their way towards the landing pad. Also with their hands out, but not quite as dramatically as the woman did. They just, are showing their hands. And they're making their way. And I'll say that the 3 of you arrive at the landing pad about the same time.
Great.
Dell is Tan like not? Does he still have his nose and everything, or is his attention drawn to all this communication?
It's bothered peripherally by this going on and the communication squabble over there. I think at times he's inclined to turn off that, but he thinks better of it. But he's hurriedly thinking, because he's considering what happened on the inside of the thing. What if they just go to murdering? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to patch up the relay communications for the ship. So I'm doubling down on that attempt.
Good idea.
Right.
All right. So in that case, can you give me an observation roll for Tan, please?
Yeah. Gotta get back to 10 here. Oh, okay.
All right. You got 2 successes.
Sweet. Okay.
So you discover that there is a box connected to their comms array, and it looks very similar to the device that Windows found on the comms array on your ship, the Solovetsky Island.
Now, I wasn't there in that session specifically.
Okay. Sorry.
I mean,
Let
yeah,
me give you the.
reconnoiter what
This is
exactly.
supposed to be dramatic. But
It's like a black box. I am clueless.
So there was. So Windows discovered that the comms array on the Solovetsky Island, which is your ship that you took to get to this this colony, had some sort of device installed on the outside. It looks from what he was able to gather, it looks like someone boarded the ship, perhaps messed around with the rations. You don't know who exactly did that. They stole some vac suits, went out onto the ship, installed this device, and then escaped on a ship that landed on the side of the Solovetsky Island. So this black
jammer or some kind of a scrambler.
Yeah, so you don't know what the device does, and that is the reason that you disabled the comms array on the Solovetsky Island, because you were concerned that it was going to be either broadcasting or receiving all of your transmissions, or sending its own transmissions off to somebody that you were unaware of.
And on our ship, I thought we installed a device that would intercept anything that it transmits, but we assume that it's gathering everything that we transmit.
Yes, so that is correct. So that was one of the things that you did after you disabled your comms array, was you installed your own black box to attach to the black box to monitor everything, all of its output, so that you would be able to determine if it was broadcasting on its own.
Well, as I'm up there, and my eye happens to go past it and then refixate on the box, I'll give a kind of a sigh of realization, a long drawn out sigh. Then I'll slowly click on the comm or get depressed or whatever and say slightly, fellas, I think we've got a problem here. Then I'll go ahead and relay that there's a box identical to the one on the Solovetsky that's right beside it. I see it in view now.
So you have one more success if you want another piece of information about the box.
Yeah. Well, at this time, while I'm telling them, I'm still analyzing the box. So if you want to provide that, as far as the extra information.
No. But what? So part of the thing about year 0 is when you get extra successes, you get to ask me questions about what it is. Like, so you could ask me like, when do I know when it was installed, or an estimation, like, or do I know what its possible purposes and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll go from that, because going from what you said earlier about the varying degrees of like what looks like it's currently active. Like you said, the solar farms were a little bit, like they were up and running, so to speak, where the other one was a bit in disuse.
Lift,
I'm looking
clearly not used.
Yeah. I'm just judging from that, the way I'm assessing all the buildings and everything like that. Does it look like it's in use, or how recently was it installed? Or does it look more ancient,
It
or that kind of stuff?
it is relatively recent in comparison to the age of the colony. It does look a bit weather exposed. So your estimation would be that it may have been here for maybe 10 years or so in comparison to the freshly installed one that was on the Solovetsky Island.
Yeah. I'll relay this information as he's walking up to the landing pad and to both of them at the same time. Just
Okay.
like secure comms. I'm not going to be yelling into it for the broadcast, but it's almost like a hopelessness in my voice that all this work I've put in distangling this, this mass of wiring, it's come to naught. But I'll keep doing it slowly
Okay.
as I'm looking over the situation. But I'll eventually get there in case we can figure out what to do with that box. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm letting also Yoko. Well, I tell you, Yoko, so you do with the information as you like.
Yoko hears this, but just continues to walk toward the landing pad or arrive at the landing pad, hands exposed. In Yoko's mind, relevant. The most important thing that we can communicate with the leaders of the colony.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's fine. I'm just nervous. I'm up on this flagpole, and my eye keeps drifting off to that sandstorm. Whatever.
Have we got comms with each other?
Yes.
Yes.
Open? Okay, so all I'm going to say to Yoko is, if you give me a single index finger in the air, I will take her down.
Don't point.
That.
Yes.
We come here in peace. I have one thing to tell you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just give me 1 second.
All right. So as Yoko's approaching the landing pad, you can see that this woman is a little nervous, and she keeps looking in the direction of the two men that are looking to join her.
Right.
She's staying up on the landing pad, maybe even as some sort of form of protection from Yoko, who is currently 10, 15 feet below her.
Mm-hmm.
Yoko gets within conversation distance as the two men come up beside her. The older man kind of puts his hands on both of their shoulders, and you get the sense that they are a family.
Adorable. Yeah, so I just say, my name is Yoko Novono. My name is Yoko Novona.
Yoko Bono?
Yes.
Yoko Bono. Okay.
And like I said, we are on a ship. We have a ship in orbit. Come from all over. Actually, an alliance between, I'll say all the names. The UPP, the ETA, whatever they all are.
UNCSS. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're here to try to make contact with all the colonies. We've sent transmissions from our own mother colony out on. Can I say the name? Gorham? No, this is Gorham.
Oh, Gorham. Yeah, it's just called the mother colony.
Okay. Well, but we didn't get a response, so we sent. We're here to see that everything's okay, and to provide any help, and hopefully to get this colony and all the other colonies out here working together.
So you see various levels of relief come over them. But the woman's it is the most obvious. She says, "Oh, oh, thank God, we've been stuck here with almost nothing for, I don't know, it's been about 15 years. There's only 6 of us left. We've lost so many people. I thought we were going to die here.
Six.
Do you have? Yes. There's the 3 of us, and then there's the Parker family, which she gestures to the northwest of the landing pad. I'm sorry, the Parks family, not the Parker family.
Right.
And we've lost people to violence and hunger, and pirates have come, and it's just been this whole colony is just a lost cause. We can't maintain anything here. We can barely feed ourselves.
With only 6, I think I understand why this isn't, why it's not really viable to maintain this place. You said that the Parker family's up in the up there, and I gestured toward that building. What about the people down there? And I gestured toward the warehouse.
We do divvy up some chores around here, and I think Violet is down in the warehouse, taking stock of what we have left and seeing if we need to go out and scavenge more from the crashed ship down the ravine.
We landed our shuttle down over there by that ship, but we came straight here. One thing that I can promise is that as long as you and Parkers are willing to work together, we'll all be better for it. I guess if the Gorham colony really is a lost cause, we can take you with us back to the mother colony. But we should find out what's viable here first.
Why don't you give me give me a manipulation roll. I know I don't like the word manipulation because it's not. It's more like it should be like convince or something like that. But give me a manipulation roll. I'm going to give you an extra. I don't know. I know we can't add extra dice during the rolls because it's not built into the thing. But I'm going to give you an extra die because of the strong case that you're making.
My best stat, meaning not my best.
Okay, I'll roll your extra die for you. And no, you got no successes, and she thinks about it. Or
I would push if it makes a difference.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot. Yes, do you want to push?
Yeah, I see the hesitation, and I think no, really, like we can help you. Yeah, you didn't. You rolled a 1 on your stress. So, and I rolled the extra die. You get a nervous twitch, stress level. Okay, so none of them are in short range of you, so that's not going to affect anybody else. But it is going to start to have an effect on them. So you see that the woman begins to get a little protective over who you assume is her son, and she whispers something to the older man, and she says,
yes, let me go get the parks, and we can have a conversation and discuss what our options are, and they have more information as to the condition of the colony. You said you wanted to see what was salvageable, so please just wait here, and we'll be right back.
No problem. You just so you know, we already have someone working on the comms array.
Okay. Yeah, I hope they get that working. It's not in very good shape, and they hurry and start, rushing off of the landing pad and heading towards the park's house, which is like the north of the control block.
Yeah. Where's she going, Yoko? Where's she going? Where's she going? Don't point. Just unless you have to.
That way.
All right. What is she up to?
Doon?
What am I up to?
No, what is she up to? That lady.
Yeah, they're gonna go tell the other family that what we're or about the offer. They're gonna go explain what's going on. Hopefully, I mean, if there really are only 6 people here, not enough to keep this colony going.
No, it's be more work than it's worth. Right. Okay.
Now that I'm closer, I'm looking at the alien one.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll? Can I use my talent?
What's your talent?
Let me. It's analysis.
Oh.
It says you can roll for observation to gain insight regarding strange and alien artifacts or creatures you encounter.
Oh.
Get a chance to study for at least 1 turn. For every success you roll, you get to ask the GM one of the questions below. Is it human or alien? Is it dead or alive? How old is it? What is its purpose? How does it work? What problems could it cause?
Okay.
And must answer truthfully. But is
So
allowed to give
a
vague
turn a turn is basically an hour.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I mean, you can do that if you want. You don't know how long they're going to be, if they're just grabbing the parks and coming back, or if they're going to have a debate or something.
Okay, well, when they leave me, I'll just start. I mean, I'm just analyzing. I'm observing the this ship here that crash landed, and then we'll see if I get an hour with it, I'll roll it. If not, then I'll not.
Okay, let's. Go ahead, Del. What were you going to say?
I was going to say the array that I'm working on right now, and I've been keeping my eye on the storm. After I hear this go down, it sounds a little bit soured experience to me, possibly. I say, come up with the comps. Well, that's good. There's only 6 of them, right? And my head's going like, how many can we carry up in the ship? We just want to take them back to the ship, right? And then I'm looking at the dust storm. I hate to be out there when that rises. How long will it take us for them to gather up and get them back to the ship and get off planet?
Are you trying to estimate this stuff in your head? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, and I'm saying it out loud over the comms to them to kind of estimate it while I'm working on the thing to try to fix the array.
So as you're as you guys are noodling over that, and Yoko is looking at this this mysterious fighter craft, you guys estimate that if you left right now and they had minimal belongings, and how long it took you to get down here, you would probably be able to get back to your drop ship within an hour or so, assuming that they don't have a whole lot that they want to take with them. So, and that would preclude, any analysis of any of the equipment or anything like that they have here that you're expecting to do.
Stuck here in this unsafe environment. the storm is approaching and whatnot. Or it could veer this way, but can't be too cautious.
Comms are right up.
All right. The comms.
I've almost got it. I've almost got it there. Yeah.
More work.
It's going to take about an hour or so. If he's going to be,
All
he's
right.
going to be moving around the ship. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So let's say it's not quite an hour, but Doon, Yoko can do the observation roll to see if she can gain any information on the spider ship. I assume that's.
I have to say
Okay.
that before I roll because I'm definitely going to fail. Right?
Well, you do have 2 stress dice, though.
I think I have 3. I think so it said the panic. Do I get the panic thing? It says your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs increases by 1.
Oh yeah,
I don't think
yours
it
should go up to
automatically did
3.
that, so I'm going to increase it.
Yeah, so I think you should bump it. Yeah, you should bump it up 1.
Okay.
You got another one. I think we're running into the same problem.
See, I got my
Panic condition +3. Oh,
roll more panic is increased by 1 to level 8. Sorry, okay. All right.
That's for the extra
Okay.
stress
Okay. This is
I'm
good.
dropping.
This is a good place for us to stop here. So I'm going to describe what you find. And so you start looking inside of this like crashed fighter thing, and you are fairly easily able to climb up on the old cargo ship it crashed into, and you're able to look inside of the cockpit and start fumbling around the inside of it, and you start seeing some really weird technology that you have never seen before, and none of the organizations involved in the mother mission have access to. There seems to be several, like a helmet that has all of these like black spiny needles that must penetrate the head of the pilot who's inside of pilots the ship. It like goes inside of their brain and somehow communicates with the computer system that is the ship's computer system. And I mean, and it would literally penetrate the skull, and because they're about 3 inches long, each of them.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And as this dawns on you, you kind of try to back out a little bit, and you trip and fall out of the fighter and like roll off onto the landing pad, and you are going to take well, actually, you're not going to take damage, but you're going to sprain your ankle, which is going to make is going to affect your agility in the future based off of the result of your panic roll. So that is where we're going to stop for today, because it is well after 9.
Okay.
My ankle hurts. Are there aliens or alien universe swears? Or are they just they're in Parlance?
Crack, I think it's one.
Right, that's Battlestar Galactica.
It'll do.
You can. There's none that I know of. I honestly, Ripley says, "Get away from her, you bitch."
Yeah, that's right. Get your hands off her, you bitch.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I assume it was just
going to say game over, man.
Sorry.
Right on.
Yeah, ow.
Ow. All right, so you sprained your ankle, and we are waiting for these people to return with the Parks family.
Yes.
All right.
So we will pick up there, and you will have, if they come out, you can work on your case and figure out what exactly you want to do with them and
Is
whether you're going to. Now, remember, I just want to remind you guys that you are expected to do a complete analysis of the colony and
right.
determine whether or not it can be brought back online with full crew and stuff like
Yeah, I
that,
feel
and
like with more
actually be
people,
productive or not.
you might be able to just
Okay.
repopulate it. Thing for the it seems like a reasonable thing for the mother colony to at this
Right.
point from our perspective.
I got a question on the north side there. Is that a mini windmill farm by the north lift tower? Yeah. It says mini mill field. What is that?
Let me say it real quick. Hold on.
Millfield. Oh, that sounds like
And my other question is, what are these field pylons?
that looks like security fence.
Is it some sort of
Perimeter.
security?
Yes, those pylons are supposed to create a fence around the entire thing, but it is not online.
Oh,
I'm going to have to get back to you because I
Okay.
don't actually see that description in here.
Okay.
So I'm not entirely sure what that is.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
Cool.
hold on.
What?
Mini field mill. That is. Oh, yes. Yeah, so those are windmills.
Okay.
And they are used to generate power, but they're susceptible to storm damage, it says.
Right.
So you haven't been up on that side, so you're not sure what the condition of that is.
Okay.
But yeah, they are. It is a windmill farm.
It seems that we've got a lot more checking up to do here for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I wasn't. I mean, I haven't necessarily got anybody to chastise now for the failing of the upkeep of the facility, but with a little bit of lubrication in the way that I can crack my whip and get them to reestablish the place, and I might be on board of staying. But right now, he's in a mindset to get back to the ship. He's regretting this trip.
I'm sure they'll appreciate your help.
Yeah, well, they better. I mean, but I'm. If not, I'm used to unappreciative people. It's a burden that I have to bear.
Yes, indeed.
Until they
All
rise.
right.
But good
So-
game, good game.
Yeah. So
Right.
next session we will have we'll do some scenes up on the ship, and
Yep.
then we'll pick up with what's going on down here on the colony.
Very cool. All right. Thank you.
All right.
That
Thanks,
was a lot of fun,
guys.
guys.